For years, Biohazard has held the top spot when it came to Resident Evil games for me. Not because it was my favorite, or I thought it was the best, but because it was the only game I played. Now that I have most of the series done, does it still hold its place? Well, I guess we'll see, won't we? As usual, I'm going to recap the story, but I'll timestamp the review portion of the video below. Probably. We pick up with Ethan, who got a message from his wife, Mia, who went missing 3 years ago. And I gotta say, I'm kinda glad Mia's missing. I've said it before and I'll say it again. If I can't be happy, the characters I play as have to suffer alongside me. He travels to Dolby, Louisiana. Going to the south is scary enough on its own, but he goes to the abandoned Baker residence. He finds a tape recorded by the last group to enter the house. Clancy Jarvis and his team of paranormal investigators. I think they must have fallen off or something, because I haven't seen them upload in a while. Oh, that's why. Yeah, no, screw Mia. Listen, she's lived this long. Clearly she's a great survivor. I'm going back home and starting a Tinder profile. Or not. Alright, we reluctantly make our way to the basement where we find Mia. And she disappears into thin air. Oh, honey, there you are. Listen, there's this girl named Zoe on the phone. Says she could get us out of here. I don't know, she seemed trustworthy to me. What do you think? Damn, she must have been living off protein powder all this time. Mia starts slashing, so we hit her with an axe to the esophagus. She was already considered dead before I got here. Better flee the scene before witnesses show up. Mia comes back from the dead and is a little angry about the attempted murder. So, she pulls out a fucking chainsaw. Wait, Mia, no, don't do it. This is the hand I used to... Well, there go my chances of ever becoming a successful chef. You can't dice onions with a stub. It's tied up right now. We're 1-1. She messed up not going for the double tap, and I'm not making the same mistake. Round 3 ends with us dumping all the bullets we can find into our deranged wife. Louisiana is a stand-your-ground state. Legally, I'm in the clear.
Welcome to the family, son.
We wake up to meet the Bakers, a nice southern family. See, they even reattached Ethan's hand. Yeah, their taste in food may be a little questionable, but their heart's in the right place. I know not to overstay my welcome, so we try leaving but run into Jack. What? Escape? Jack, I would never do that. I'm just trying to explore this lovely home you have. You see, and he was kind enough to leave us a first aid. He may be a little messed up in the head, but he still has that southern hospitality. We stumble onto a cop and tell him about the homicidal family we're trapped with, and he arms us with a pocket knife. What am I supposed to do, whittle my way out? We meet up with Deputy Worthless in the garage where Jack kills him. He was a cop. He should have known not to trespass. As Jack is busy defiling his corpse, we run his ass over. Yeah, I dare you to try some silly shit now.
Oh, shit! Nice Ethan.
I've made a severe and continuous lapse of judgment, but if you'll allow me, we could still go back inside and finish dinner. What do you say? I've played through enough of these games to know that's not enough to kill, so we go for the double tap when the car catches fire. But Jack climbs out of the blazing wreckage. Luckily, the car explodes, allowing us to safely double tap. 1 down, 3 more to go.
You're about to see something wonderful.
Okay, that's gotta be the world's worst magic trick. Jack regenerates his brain to chase us around a little bit more, and you having fun over there, Jackie boy? I'm not the type to get between a man and his wall, so we head down to the basement. And the walls are covered in black mold. The Bakers really need a health inspector down here. I'm seeing some safety violation. Is that venom? Let's see how these creatures hold up against a boomstick to the face. Jack comes back for a chainsaw duel. Now listen here, Jack. I'm the only man my wife gets to call daddy. I might have got a little overzealous, but I think I proved my point. Finally, some fresh I'm better off inside. If one of these branches hits me in the face, I'll contract some newfound STD. Zoe says that we can cure Mia and get out of here. We just need to find the ingredients for an antidote. So onward to the shack, where we reunite with Mia, who gets kidnapped by Lucas. Don't worry, babe. Give me like 10 minutes. I just gotta do this extermination job real quick. We hit Marguerite with the Ash Williams special, but all that does is turn her into something Meat Canyon would draw. We give her an at-home hysterectomy, and that allows us to get the first part of the antidote. We try meeting up with Zoe again, but she got kidnapped by Lucas. In order to get to him, we have to put our hand up some stuffed pork, and watch a video where my boy Clancy makes his long-awaited return. Everybody loves Clancy. Except Lucas. He throws him into a death trap and burns him beyond recognition. He could kidnap my wife. He could kidnap his sister, but I draw the line at harming Clancy. Unfortunately, he gets away, but we get the second part of the antidote. We free Mia and Zoe, but before we can cure them, Jack comes back and we have to use one of the antidotes to deal with him, leaving us with a difficult choice. We can either save Mia, or there's no or. She's the whole reason for Ethan being here. He literally lost an arm and a leg for her. Does Zoe really think she could compete with that? Yeah, she helped us. I'm grateful for that, but that doesn't mean I trust her. Hell, I don't even trust that the friends I have IRL aren't feds sent to spy on me. I'm getting off topic. Point is, fuck Zoe. She could wait for backwoods Ryu to come save her. Come on, babe. Let's leave this hellhole. You want Red Robin? I passed one a couple miles before I got here. I know it's your favorite. Something tells me I'm not getting that bacon burger anytime soon. We switched to Mia and learned that babysitting was code for taking care of a genetically engineered virus that takes the shape of a little girl named Evelyn. I don't know how Ethan didn't understand that. He must be stupid or something. We make it to a mold-encased Ethan who's dreaming about the bakers.
I'm no killer, son. Neither is Marguerite, nor my boy Lucas.
Jack must have missed the written confession where Lucas details capturing and starving his childhood bully. But his point still stands. We go back to the Baker house where we euthanize Evelyn, and see that she was actually Grandmama Baker this whole time. Evelyn reveals her true form. A mold, tentacle, beanstalk thing. I didn't survive a redneck with his endless supply of gardening equipment, his wife with a locust-infested cooch, and their horror movie fanatic son just to die to an angsty lab experiment with attachment issues. With some last-second help from Chris Redfield, who just so happened to be in the area, we kill Evelyn and save Mia. After that stressful night, I think I'm gonna need a vacation. I'm thinking Romania. Never heard of anything bad happening in Romania. Biohazard was one of my first experiences with Resident Evil, so I was a little bit biased towards it before I started making videos on the series. Now that I'm 6 games deep, it's at least still in my top 3. You can see Capcom took heavy inspiration from horror movies. The Bakers are very reminiscent of the Sawyers from Texas Chainsaw Massacre for the few minutes that they're together. And after they split up, each Baker is similar to a famous horror villain. Jack is your generic Michael Myers / Jason Voorhees slasher villain that keeps coming back no matter what you hit them with. Marguerite is clearly inspired by the Candyman. Then in her mutated form, they go all out with body horror, making her look off-putting, for lack of a better term. I wouldn't call her scary, but her elongated limbs and bug-infested womb, on top of her unnatural movements, just make me uncomfortable looking at her. And of course, the son John Kramer wishes he had in Lucas. Obviously, there's the overall jigsaw nature of his area, with the booby traps in the main game where he watches you from his computer. And Evelyn is a creepy little girl, one of the most overused tropes in the genre. Another overused trope that the game relies on, jump scares. There's only a couple that I thought were done well. The rest were unnecessary and pretty well telegraphed to the point where it takes the scare factor away. However, where the horror shines really is in its simplicity, because you're no longer playing as a well-trained soldier or cop walking away with minor cuts and bruises. You're a normal guy who stumbled into a situation you're nowhere near prepared for, and you suffer the consequences for it, quite literally losing an arm and a leg, and seeing corpses used as piggy banks. It all plays so well into how Evelyn's influence dragged down this upstanding southern family. And Lucas. But Biohazard doesn't just add the horror back, it still keeps some of the over-the-top action sequences from the previous entries, but refines them. They're much scarcer and grounded, making them more enjoyable. Outside of the 4 main villains, the characters were very underwhelming. I didn't care for Ethan. I'm aware he's supposed to be an everyman character, but that just makes him feel hollow, with not much to cling on to. That dampens the whole playthrough when your protagonist feels like a stranger you're stuck next to during an 8-hour plane ride, rather than someone you want to root for. Then Mia and Zoe are even worse. You get one interaction with Mia after the intro and before the endgame, and her flashback is more about Evelyn than her. Then Zoe just gives you the next objective. Their lack of development ruins what's supposed to be one of the more dramatic scenes of the game, where you have to choose who to save, and you're not attached to either of them. Last up is the ending. Now, I really enjoyed the ending. At first, it's like all the other endings in the series. You dump all the ammo you have on Evelyn until you get the scripted scene, but it's the last few moments that tie everything together. Everything seemingly wraps up in a neat little bow, until you see the blue umbrella logo. That leaves you with a bunch of questions. Why is Chris working for them? Is he evil now? Is Umbrella good? Why is the logo blue? Where's the BSAA? It works well whether if you're a newcomer or a longtime fan, which perfectly sums up this game as a whole. Yes, it has its flaws, but it manages to mix aspects of the classic and modern games into a fun experience that doesn't require watching a 3-hour lore video. You can just hop in and enjoy. This video is a little special to me. I remember being 14 watching Berlizzi play this game when it came out, and now 7 years later here I am. Broke, I haven't gotten a full night's sleep in 5 years, and all my clothes have holes in them. But I'm making content now, so that's gotta count for something. If you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. Or not. Either way, I'ma head out. Later.